Well, once upon a time, Joe Biden made this promise to his vice president.
We do the same thing Barack and I. We have lunch alone once a week. That's the deal. When we're both in country, which we will be for a while because of COVID. And I see her, all the time.
Flash forward to today, and amid reports of fighting between their staffers, and it seems like Joe is avoiding Kamala like the plague. According to public records reviewed by Real Clear Politics, Biden has only lunched twice this year with his vice president. That comes as liberals fume over this Politico headline for referring to Kamala Harris by her first name. They see it as disrespectful, sexist, and of course, racist. So, Greg, Brian Kilmeade was telling me you promised him lunch every week and that you've been blowing him off.
Yeah.
He's very upset about it.
Well, he likes to cut my food, which is what Biden keeps asking Kamala to do. That's why they're not having lunch together anymore, because he'd come down and he'd mistake her for the nurse and say, "Could you cut my food?" This whole first name business being sexist. I mean, tell that to Beyonce or Madonna or Geraldo. If you have a unique name, Kamala's a unique name. You know exactly there's only one Kamala, thank God. But I can't go by Greg, even though I'm probably the most famous Greg on the planet. And I include Greg Evigan and Greg Brady and Greg Morris from Mission Impossible.
Greg Louganis.
Greg Louganis.
But
I'm still bigger than them. But, yeah, so there you go.
So, Will, my thought when I heard this was, who has time to actually sit down and have lunch with anybody anymore?
Yeah.
I don't have time to have lunch for an hour with someone.
Joe Biden's played the politics of this like a beautiful instrument. I mean, everyone knows that, at least in sports, you want to make sure your backup quarterback isn't as good as you. So when he plays, there's never any threat he replaces you in the job. I know that I'm Kilmeade's backup along with Hegseth for Fox and Friends, and Kilmeade's made that the case because he knows I'm never going to take his job. Joe Biden knows Kamala Harris is never taking his job. He's ultimately safe, and he doesn't have to have lunch with her to prove that fact.
Once those pictures come out of Kilmeade, though, you're set.
Yeah.
We still have those?
Yeah, I'm going to get them to you tonight.
Send the copies
and we'll
to you.
drop them off. Yeah, get it to the Post.
All right, Harold, they're blaming this on staffers fighting with each other, but is that an excuse?
It's maybe convenient, but I'll tell you this. I'm a traditionalist and old-fashioned. I think you call the president, vice president, vice president. I thought the Democrats were wrong when they called Donald Trump Donald. And maybe if you know him well, but I think if you're the president, you call him by the title. Two, COVID is a reason why they probably aren't doing the kinds of sit-downs that they were often doing. And I do think what they should be doing when they do have lunch is figuring out how they get their poll numbers up. And if you're concerned about getting your poll numbers up, you're going to be representing and serving people who feel underserved. And to the point that Van Jones made, there were a lot of promises, and there's been a massive underdelivery in a lot of instances. Admit to it, cop to it. Go to Arizona, go to Texas. Katie, you're right. Go to these places and give a speech about what the country is going to do to fix our border. Go to Chicago, go to Cleveland, go to Memphis, go to Baltimore. Every week I'd go to these cities and meet with these police chiefs and DAs and say, what do you need me to do? Put a plan on the table to reform cashless bail across the country. There were some good things I was trying to do, but the result has not been great. That's what they should be having lunch about. That's what they should be meeting about. And I hope as the president, if they do put him out on the road, I hope that's what he's doing
Judge,
as opposed to something else.
What if it was the opposite? What if the vice president doesn't want to necessarily have lunch with the president?
No, you know what I think? I do agree with Greg. I think that Kamala got tired of having to cut the food for Joe. But what I also think is Joe got tired of her laughing all the time because she laughs all the time. All the food ends up on his plate. I mean,
Can you imagine
it's
that
just a terrible situation.
Oh, they despise
and I disagree. I think COVID, if anything, provides more of an opportunity for them to have lunch together because nobody's going out. Look at Putin. Greg and I could have lunch. Putin they'd be all at the other end. They could have lunch together. Example. Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is you could have a long table. You can still have lunch and not worry about COVID. You know what? I think she's very picky. She wants everything to be about race and about sexism. Remember, she didn't like it when people didn't stand up when she walked into a room. I mean, she's a prima donna. You know what? Earn the people's respect. That's all.
Instead of complaining about racism, those in the White House, think about the people. Represent people, serve people, and let them make those decisions.
So racist.
Only after lunch. All right. CMO Friday is up next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.